Here I'm very quickly going to show you how to use the USB port on the RMC controller for hooking it up to do diagnostics and for setups. Some setups that you can do in here. First of all, what you've got to do is connect something to the USB port, and here I have a USB cable, and I'm just going to plug it in, hopefully around the right way. There you go, around the right way. You plug it in. When it plugs it in, it runs power as well, and as you can see, the actual controller is now booting up, and there's the screen there, so it's booting up. It's got nothing else connected to it, so it's just going to keep hunting for an ATEM, which it won't find. So what we need to do is be able to access this port on a computer. So the way we do that is, this is a Windows one. I could do one on a Mac, but it's pretty much the same sort of thing. What I'm going to do is, first of all, I need to know what port this is on the computer. Now, although it's a USB connector, it actually comes up as a serial port once the drivers are loaded. The normal driver, Arduino Lyre drivers are loaded. So this USB port will come up as a serial port, but we need to know which one that is, because that is dynamically allocated by the Windows operating system. And the quickest way to do that is to actually go to the utilities disk, or whatever you got this stuff on, and then just double click on PuTTY. No, we don't want to do that. We first of all want to go to Xloader, and I'm just going to double click on Xloader, and here's Xloader up here. And what I'm going to do is that I'm just going to click on the COM port, and it should show me the normal computer ports. There's one, port 2, port 1. This computer's got a Decklink card in it, so it's coming up as number 3. But down here we've got this port 14. Now this could be any number, but so long as it's not number 1 and 2, well, then again it could be. But it's definitely not the serial port. So we're going to click on COM port 14. That's the one we want. But we don't want to use Xloader or anything for anything else other than just determining what port is available. The long way of doing it is by going down to your Windows button down here, and then clicking on over here, Control Panel, and then when you click on Control Panel, we then go and click on Device Manager, and Device Manager comes up, and you click on Ports, which is Ports Common LPT. And you'll see down here, now this could be different depending on the card you're using. Sometimes it'll come up with Arduino, sometimes it comes up with this. This is a different type of interface. But you can see it says COM14, so we know it's not COM port 1, COM port 2, because that's communications port. You know it's not the printer port, but it's a USB serial. So COM14, which is what Xloader showed us. Anyhow, so I'm just going to close all that now. We don't need any of that. So once we determine what the port number is, we're then going to go to PuTTY. We're going to double click on PuTTY, and PuTTY will then come up with a window like this. Now we use PuTTY for doing Telnet as well, but we're going to use it for serial, which is this end on here. We're going to click on serial. We're going to type in that port number we just found out, which in this case was port 14. And then most importantly, we've got to then type in the speed. Now the speed is 1152000, 115200. So make sure you got that speed correct. Now once you do that, before I hit open, I just want to explain that whenever you access the serial port on here through the USB, it automatically tells the controller card to reboot. Now that's just an internal function with the actual controller card. It's not part of the software, it's built in. So I'm now going to click on open, and when I do that, you'll notice, hang on, here we go, click, and you'll notice it's gone black, which means it's rebooting. So it's going to reboot now, and as it reboots, it starts showing you this diagnostic stuff that we've been trying to get a look at. Now this information here can tell a lot of things You can see it's showing the version number, the serial number, the local IP address and the ATEM IP address. It also shows you the MAC address in case you're having problems with them not connecting. You make sure you don't have a conflicting MAC address. Now this MAC address is actually variable depending on devices you have, but it actually uses the last digit of the serial number to create a unique MAC address. But you shouldn't have to worry about that if it connects up okay. Now over this USB connection we do have some control. So if I go back over here and say press question mark, which is help, and hit enter, it will come up with a lot of items that you can then do through this interface. This list is going to change as more features get added, when in normal operation you can use this to quickly check and verify certain things in the setup. I'm going to go through a lot of them later on, but not in this video, but it would all make sense to you. Also, when you're in this mode, you can also then at any time you can actually press the button and then go into the configuration manager and do any configurations you need to do here. Now, as I said, this is not dependent on you being plugged into anything at all, other than just having the USB. And as you can see, this USB is powering the box as well, but it certainly won't power the RMC because it's got to have 9 or 12 volts. But this is just if you just want to do a standalone setup. So that's as simple as that.